Today's film is perfect for the type of person who watch an Isayasu Sato film and they think to themselves, damn, this isn't depressing enough. Today I am discussing a film from the director of Flower and Snake, one of my personal favorite Nikatsu Roman porno film. And what fancy but very sleazy film am I talking about? Woman in a Box, Virgin Sacrifice. And if you understood my sarcasm, this isn't classy at all. In fact, this is probably one of the trashiest Japanese exploitation film I've ever seen. And that's saying a lot. Who is the sick mind that wrote this wonderful piece of media, you probably ask yourself? Well, none other than Gaira. Yes, Gaira. The man who brought to you such classics as Entrails of a Virgin and Entrails of a Beautiful Woman. Now, if only this one was as silly as those two previous films, I'd be glad. But no, this is quite serious. This is very depressing, in fact. So, what is this film about? Well, on the surface, it's simply the story of two very unwell people that kidnap this lovely young lady and they sexually torture her for an hour. Of this film is sexual assault. Why, Japan? Now, to go into the more detailed version of that synopsis, because I don't think that one sold this film to anyone. If it did, seek help, please. So, this is the story of a young couple. One of them looks like a creep, and the other is the woman. They're a couple, they're in love, and they really like to have sex in a van that's parked in the middle of Tokyo. I don't know why nobody gave them a parking ticket, but they really like to do that. The first scene is kind of silly. It kind of sets the tone that this is gonna be a comedy a la Porky's, but oh boy does it not go into that direction. The second scene before the title is our couple once again having sex, that time not in the middle of Tokyo, but on a tennis court, which is even more questionable. Why did nobody tell the people that are fucking in the van that they can't park in the middle of a tennis court? It's not like they're in the parking of a tennis court. No, they're on the tennis court. And their van is shaking. Everybody clearly knows that there's two people fucking, but nobody wants to ask them to move the vehicle. And then there's this strange scene as our main character is hitting it from behind, you know, preparing back shots, as the kids say, and he asks her if she would be down to suck a bum's dirty pee-pee, to which she answers that she'd be willing to do anything for his love. Now, why are they talking about bum pee-pee? Well, again, there's a bum that lives in a cardboard box on the tennis court. Why is nobody saying anything? Are tennis courts in Japan just free game? You can just set up a tent. It just seems like tennis courts in Japan are the Walmart parking lot of America. After they're done their deed, we cut to the title sequence, and then we get to the nitty-gritty. You see, not only are they a bit kinky, as in they like to have sex in public, but they also have another kink. That's kidnapping young girls, to which they do. They kidnap this young, very beautiful, very nice girl who's a college student. In fact, she's studying to be a like early childhood teacher because she thinks that kids are adorable. I personally think they're insufferable, but to each their own. So yeah, they kidnap her, bring her to their dungeon. That's also their house. That's inside of a sewer. They live in the Tokyo sewer. How do they get furniture down there? How do they get electricity for their sexual toys? I don't know. I'm not gonna nitpick a movie called Woman in a Box Virgin Sacrifice now, am I? And before, you know, doing the deed, they decide to mentally torture her. How sweet of them. By pretending to cut off her nipple and then spraying her with water. from a very powerful hose to clean her up, as they say. So yeah, after they clean her up, well, our man can't, control himself anymore, and he jumps on her to proceed to, what. And then there is the other scene where he proceeds to put a lot of Vaseline on her butthole, and then penetrate said butthole with a lot of Vaseline. Now that scene is very uncomfortable. The entire film is, but I mean that scene, the way it's shot, the fact that there's little to no cuts, the acting is very convincing. Our victim gets beat before that because she doesn't want to do, things with the man. So the girlfriend beats her, and then, as I said, the man proceeds to do what he has to do. All of that is shot very, very uncomfortably. Now, after they're done, they go to sleep, and our young girl decides that it's her time to go. She's gonna escape, and she tries, but our man follows her around, and he's yelling stuff that is basically psychological torture as she tries to escape in a goddamn sewer. So of course she gets dirty, and she has to crawl in literal shit to get away from the man until she kind of arrives to a ladder to finally escape. However, she doesn't. And this is gonna be a theme that's there during the entirety of this film, and that is the theme of the girl basically getting to freedom until it's just taken away from her. And what does our lovely main character do to punish her? Well, he pierces her labia. Now, we don't see that in detail due to Japan's laws on genitalia. However, we do get the rest in detail, that are the reaction, the screaming, and again the camera, and the acting just makes you feel very, very uncomfortable. And that's where the title comes into play, as she is thrown in a box where she's of course tied, and she can't do anything by herself, so she'll have to urinate on herself and probably most likely defecate too. And she is kept in that box until they need to sexually assault her again. And they'll do that again in their van because, they need to bring that OG kink back into that new relationship. And again, we get a almost escape from her as she's being, there's a lady that walks to the window, and of course the windows of the van are tinted so she doesn't see inside, and you can see her, she's just doing her makeup. And then the film decides to go all experimental on us and have a non-linear storyline where our couple is getting interrogated by the police, which happens to be one of the scenes that made me laugh the most because it is so absurd. And there's a part of me that think that some of this film is kind of self-aware and slightly, comedic. And the scene I'm gonna tell you about is one that I found funny and I think was there to alleviate some tension because we had been seeing this young lovely lady get attacked for an hour. And that's a scene where our man is describing in very graphic and explicit detail how he likes to ejaculate inside his girlfriend's butthole. And what made me really laugh is just the graphic, vulgar detail as you see slow zooms ins on the police's face as they're clearly disgusted by what he's seeing. I don't know why, that made me laugh. And then we get the beach scene, which I was warned about. And that scene is disgusting and very depressing because they bring her to the beach in her box, and that's basically where they're gonna finally kill her. What they do is they put a needle in her arm to drain her out of her blood, and as they're doing so, she starts singing songs that her grandmother used to sing to her. And then she finally passes out, and she's finally meeting, death. She's finally gonna get some relief after all the horrible things that have been happening to her. However, that's not what our main character is gonna do. He's gonna basically wait until the last minute until she dies to not let her die. Now, the last 20 minutes are probably the most questionable mindfuck of 20 minutes I've seen in one of these films. They bring her to the police and tell her to go tell the police what just happened to her, which she does, and they get arrested, and we finally get the reason they've been doing what they've been doing. Well, you see, our man wants to be a celebrity serial killer. Social commentary. And our lady, well, she's just in love, so she just wanted to do things for the love of her life. That leads to a scene where the 3 police officers are asking our victim to explain in detail what the man and the woman have done to her, which she does. She starts, uncomfortable, and then she slowly becomes more and more into it until she jumps on the table, reveals her vagina, that's still pierced with a chain, by the way, and she starts playing with herself, and then proceeds to have sexual intercourse with the 3 police officers present. She drops the charges and our couple is being let go. And they're very sad because they're not celebrities. These are literally the 2 worst characters I've ever seen in a film. They're so despicable, hateable, narcissistic pieces of shits that you just want them to suffer, but then again, we go back to the theme of hope and getting it pulled away from you at the last second. You get no satisfaction with the ending of the film. You get this weird dream sequence where the victim is becoming like a model and she models with boxes, and there's like a J-pop soundtrack that kind of slaps but is really weird for the context of this film. And the final sequence is our 2 assholes going back to their little sewer in their little home to finally arrive and see that our victim is back in her box. The end. So, what did I think of A Woman in a Box Virgin Sacrifice? Don't judge me, but I really like this one. This is the type of extreme cinema that I like. You know, this was in the same veins as something like Last House on the Left, or even I Spit on Your Grave, except there's no satisfaction. This is nihilism. I was gonna say on celluloid, but this is on video, so this is nihilism on video. There is no hope. Your dreams are gonna shatter. Everything you love is gonna disappear. This is what this film is. It is so vile, so extreme, so mentally draining that I can't do anything else but respect it. The characters are so hateable, you just want to go through the screen and punch them in the face. They do such a great job. The acting is so goddamn good that you truly believe that these 2 actors are the worst type of human beings ever. This is not an easy film to recommend. In fact, this isn't a film for 99% of humans on Earth. But if you like this type of extreme psychological horror, I'd say give this one a watch. You won't be disappointed. Anyways, thank you for watching and see you guys next time.